I was making sure I was properly lubed up for what we're about to talk about. Hello, everyone. Welcome, chat. Hello, everyone. Oh my God. Here we go. Average Avocados is in here. Leia, Coffee on Korriban. Daryl, my good friend Dave. You'll you'll have to excuse me. Pretty sure I got the Omicron because I have been not feeling so good over the past couple days. And also, my camera just went rogue. I have done everything I can do to try to fix this. This font is blue. The lights behind me are blue. And yet, for some reason, here we are just Yoda greening this thing out. I don't know why. I was trying to download this new intro for the stream that actually included Nikki with it as well. But I'll give you a little taster of something I'm working on for the Hangar Bay. Check this out.
Welcome to the Hangar Bay. Your commander will be with you shortly. Please stow all items and prepare for departure. Thank you again for choosing Swing Star Cruises for all your intergalactic travel needs. We'll be arriving on Coruscant shortly. Enjoy your flight.
Just a little taster, something that we're working on, something that I've spent some time with in the late hours of the night after I'm done talking to all the homies. I ain't drinking no grape drink. Anyways, welcome everyone. Let's get into this. Let's get into this live stream. Let's start talking about the stuff that is important here. So the reason I wanted to do a solo stream tonight is because we had kind of a fun, interesting there was a dichotomy between Star Wars fans. Okay, we got some news in a tweet from Grace that said John and Dave are heading over to the movie side of Star Wars. And I'm like, that sounds nice. I'm cool with that. But aren't they busy as hell? And yes, they are. Turns out they're busy as hell. And everybody took that tweet, which was dropped as like this big a bombshell, basically a bombshell that they're going to be taking over the Star Wars movie universe, which, yeah, I'd be cool with that. I would be cool with that because, you know, we've been dealing with so much kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody help me in the chat. We've been dealing with so much upsetness. We've been upset. We've been upset at the Star Wars movies. We've been happy with the Star Wars TV shows. Obviously, the people heading off the TV shows, John and Dave, we've liked what they've done because it feels like they've paid attention to and given respect to the source material that we saw from these, you know, these shows. We got some fan service, fun fan service, a couple fan service moments I wasn't a huge fan of. So one that drives me nuts is the Cobb Vanth Anakin Pod Racer speeder bike. I'm like, okay, look, it was cool. When I saw it, I was like, awesome, great. That actually kind of made me happy. And then I go back and I look at it later and I'm like, that was unnecessary. That was just unnecessary. And then I go back and I watch Rogue One and I see Hanna Baba in there and I'm like, that was just unnecessary. But you know what? It makes me happy. At least it was there. But having said that, we trust these guys to come back and do stuff right because there was so much fan service that these guys actually did right. You can tell they obviously have a deep and loving connection with the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. You can feel the love from those projects when you watch them. And I think that's something that's missing so wholeheartedly from the movie aspect of it. You want to talk about bad fan service. So one of the things that drives me nuts about Solo, and it almost ruined the whole movie for me, was when he goes to get his name and they're like, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm by myself. Oh, you're Han Solo. I'm like, why would you do something like that? There are 10 trillion ways that you could have given that character his name without doing that. The ticket counter Han Solo. And that's how I've always thought about it. The ticket counter Han Solo. Like, what the fuck? I wasn't a huge fan. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to hold on. I gotta share out the boop 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 doop boop doo 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 doo. I gotta copy this link and send it out to a few choice people. So there is definitely a divide between certain fans who think that, like, yes, things are going the way they need to go. Other fans are thinking, no, this is not going the way it needs to go. And I took some time last night and I went and I watched through the gosh, I can't even remember the name of it. It's a Disney special. I want to, it's like behind the scenes or behind the curtain or something like that. And I went and I sat there and I watched the whole thing. And then I freeze framed it on one moment. And it was cool because there was this whole thing about the High Republic writers and how excited they were. And honestly, I was getting hyped about it. I'm like, damn, these people really do love Star Wars. And then I did a freeze frame on the whiteboard of what they wanted to talk about for, or what kind of stories they wanted to make for Star Wars moving forward. And a lot of people, they stuck on, there was a diversity written on the left. And I'm like, well, yeah, obviously. I mean, but Star Wars diversity, not like Earth diversity, because they just stick people in there just because. But the thing that I saw that kind of upset me was that I saw on the top left of the board, it said not pro war. I'm like, well, it's Star Wars. Like, I understand it's a universe, but everything that happens in Star Wars is based off of wars. And some of my favorite moments from all of Star Wars are episode 1, when the N1 starfighters go out and try to fight the droid ship. Like, man, like 9 years old, just like, staring at it, just so extremely excited. So extremely excited. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I haven't been paying attention to the chat. By the way, this is not green, by the way. Like I said, I don't know what the hell is going on with my camera. I promise by the first of the year, I will have something worthy of your patronage and you guys coming and hanging out with me. I will have a camera that will show all of my pores and all my blackheads in 1440p. You guys are going to get to know me a little bit better. Like I said, Omicron virus. But so episode 1, the space battle over Naboo, that was a huge thing for me. Episode 2, I always think about when people are like, what do you think about Attack of the Clones? I'm like, I fucking love that movie. Why? It's because I think about those LAATs coming around the corner and just dipping into the Battle of Geonosis. That was one of my most favorite Star Wars moments in the history of Star Wars, was Petronaki Arena and the Battle of Geonosis, man. I absolutely loved that. So when people say they hate Attack of the Clones, I'm like, yeah, well, but do you remember Petronaki Arena? Do you remember that shit? That shit was tight. And then episode 3, what happens in episode 3? They open up on a giant battle over Coruscant. Like, this is what Star Wars is. It's what Star Wars is. It's about war. It's about making heroes. It's about making legends. It's about writing stories about people that are faced with extraordinary times and they rise to the occasion. So for me, when I see, stuff about like, well, this is peacetime and it's the height of the Jedi, I totally get that. I understand 1,000% why you would want to make a story in that atmosphere. And I'm super like, I'm for it. It doesn't mean I'm going to read it per se, but I'm certainly for it. And even the stuff that like today, I had a 2-hour drive to go get to a job. I sit there, I pop Timothy Zahn, the newest Thrawn book. I'm listening to the newest Thrawn book. And what is it? Is it peacetime? No, it's not Thrawn, like, putzing around the galaxy trying to find relics. There's this huge overarching depth of fear of what's coming, the Grisk. It's people battling each other, whether they know it or not, intellectually trying to, there's just this dynamic that you can't recreate if you're not faced with adversity. Not diversity, adversity. I want to see stories where people are really faced with something difficult and they have to rise up to overcome that challenge, but they're not innately born with the ability to beat that challenge immediately. Boy, I got way off track. I'm sorry. Let me circle back real quick. And hold on. Where is it? I gotta go back up. I could do that, or I could take a sipper. Everybody in the chat, have a sipper. That was a nice sipper. Thank you, everybody, for your sipper. Fuck this man talking about. You're the one who told me to do this. Don't act like you don't know what's going on. So we got the news that they might be heading over to the movie side. John and Dave Filoni might be heading over to the movie side of Star Wars. Obviously, I would be extremely happy to see that. God, seriously? What are you guys telling me? If you don't like it, move the fuck on. All right. So anyway, back on to John and Dave. Yeah, they may be slated to move over to the movie side of Star Wars. And my immediate thought is, well, they have too much that they have to do over on the TV side of stuff to be able to successfully actually make a movie over on the movie side of stuff, because they're tied up with the TV stuff. But I was talking to Valiant Renegade not too long ago, about half an hour ago, on a stream for Legendary Tron on his birthday. And he brought up a very interesting point, and something that I think is extremely important when it comes to how we try to think about how Hollywood functions. How how do they divide up the work, basically? Because you make a movie that's a 2-3 year project when you're talking about pre and post and everything that goes on there. I think what they were doing with Disney Plus was creating a group of directors, a group of producers that could handle the workload of Disney Plus and everything that they want to do over there, while John and Dave can not step out, but at least make a shift of their attention over to the film group, so that they can start making movies, because that Lucasfilm wants to start making money on movies, while having a group of directors and producers back on the Disney Plus side, on the TV side, that they can trust. And obviously they're not going to be completely removed from the TV side, but at least they can pop in here and there and give direction and do all that different kind of stuff. But they're not going to be beholden to the projects at the. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I actually bought this in Disneyland Paris. It was the only hat that I actually liked there. But they're not going to be beholden to the projects that are stuck at Disney Plus and doing the TV shows and stuff like that. I think if they can gather a group of creatives who understand their vision over on the Disney Plus side and then move over to film, I'm 100% down with that. Super down with that. I think that could be interesting. I'm going to move into the chat for a second here, because it's been exploding and I haven't clicked on anything at all. So I guess I'm just going to do 2 scrolls up and see what's going on. The Yuuzhan Vong. Interesting topic. Yeah, so I like the idea of the Yuuzhan Vong. So it was kind of a hot topic in the fan base when it came to the Yuuzhan Vong, because a lot of people didn't like him. That's what they're doing now, again, with the Grisk in the books for the new Thrawn trilogy. And so I don't see how they could continue this story when it comes to Ahsoka, when it comes to Thrawn, when it comes to basically them saying it's going to culminate into a big cinematic event without them addressing the Grisk, because everything that's come out in these books now is actually considered canon. So if we have this huge force of the Grisk that are a really big threat to the rest of the galaxy at this point. How do they not address that? Now, mind you, I haven't finished the last book yet, the last Thrawn book yet. It could be that Thrawn just destroys absolutely everybody, but I just don't feel like it's going to be that way. I just don't. I don't know. Lucasfilm needs some compelling writers and a better story group. Yeah, so that was something that I thought was kind of interesting last night as I was watching the I'm still trying to remember. It's on Disney Plus. It's called something. It's like Behind the Scenes or Behind the Curtain or Behind the Magic or something like that. And I was listening to these authors talk about Star Wars, and they have pedigree. There's a lot of stuff there. But I just I don't know. I wasn't really sold on it 100%. They were obviously hyped on Star Wars, but they were hyped on their version of Star Wars, and they were really hyped about the fact that they wrote something in Star Wars and somebody else noticed it and brought them into Star Wars. And they're like, okay, well, then I'm just going to keep doing that. And then you get 8 people with big heads who all think they know what Star Wars is, and you wind up with this amalgamation of what wound up being not Star Wars to a lot of fans who have been faithful to this franchise for a very long time, is what I felt like. I felt like that. The Star Wars on the big screen, nothing better than John and Dave bringing the movies back. Yeah, so agreed. If we know one thing for sure, we know that Jon Favreau can make a good movie. And I agree 100% with Obsession. Every time he brings this up, they're like, hey, here's a Christmas movie. Take it. Millions of dollars. Hey, here's a movie about a kid and a dad, chef. Bam, millions of dollars. We want to make a movie about a superhero, Iron Man. Bam, millions of dollars. The guy just prints money. He really does. And I think it's because he understands storytelling and he understands how to make a story that people relate with. And we're fortunate enough that when he was younger, he was totally into Star Wars. Loved Star Wars. He was a chaperone at a movie theater, and you could see the emotion in this guy's eyes when he's talking about R2-D2. I'm like, man, this guy gets me for sure. He totally gets me. So yeah, to have him kind of up front talking about making movies and writing stories for them, for sure, 100%. But I'm glad that Filoni is there to make sure that no crazy lore breaking happens. Now, having said that, remember that Dave Filoni did put in helicopter lightsabers. I'm willing to forgive that. I'm just saying, I was not a fan of the helicopter lightsabers. I was thinking about that driving home from work today. I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I just don't get it. Star Wars by its definition is an epic space opera. And if they want to bring fans back, make it an epic in scope and the stakes high. The Yuuzhan Vong is a great idea. And Invasion maintain the new rep. Yeah, like I said, I think they're doing that with the Grisk. I don't know why you would canonize a major enemy from outside of wild space without it really having a massive effect. And that was the original sequel trilogy. Jason Solo, all that different stuff. Commander, tu sombrero es fantástico. I know, man. I love my hat. Appreciate you, dude. What would you make a movie about in Star Wars? X-Wang. Damn, that's a good ass question. What would I make a movie about? So if I was going to make a movie, it would be in the era of Darth Bane. And I think it would be about the Brotherhood of Darkness and the Grand Army of the Light fighting, because I don't know a single person who loves Star Wars that wouldn't want to see 1,000 Jedi and 1,000 Sith light up their lightsabers and just go to frickin' town. Just absolutely huge, major combat. And for the people who love the diplomatic side of Star Wars, you can explore how Darth Bane was interacting with the Brotherhood of Darkness, exploring the Rule of Two, and why that needs to happen, because it gives so much more depth to the Sith. I really like that part of it. And also it kind of reinforces the fact of the stuff that happened in George's Star Wars about how, the Jedi were the dogmatic views of the Jedi. They were totally full of themselves. I think that would be really cool, especially because the guy who's heading up the Grand Army of the Light, I can't remember his name, but he had like blonde curly hair. He was totally into himself. He was a total dick. It just everything lends itself to good storytelling there. So I just think if I was going to tell a story, I'd want to see that. And I think a lot of people want to see that too. Charlie. Yeah, and everybody go and wish Tron a happy birthday. The homie. We were over on his stream not too long ago, saying hi, hanging out. Stuff got appropriate. I had to dip out. Not because it was inappropriate. I just, I had to go. Fuck the heli sabers. Yeah, I can't. Maria, hello. How are you, darling? Good to see you. Finally able to catch you live. Yeah, for sure. I want a prequel for Dex. I want, you know what I want? What could be fun if somebody told me like, okay, we can't do a movie about Jedi. I'd be like, give me Dash Rendar. Give me a Dash Rendar movie. Just do Shadows of the Empire and just make it a movie. I think I would be super down for that. My favorite stories in the Clone Wars were the Sith arcs. I would love to see a Sith movie, but Disney Lucasfilm, I don't think is capable of going dark. Lucas era, yes. Disney era, no, in my opinion. Give me a second. I gotta do something. Just give me 1 second. I have been, oh my God. Thank God for Nikki. I've literally I just made like such a good point and it was completely silent the whole time. I promised you to never get good at YouTube, and here we are. See, this is why I'm too far behind in the chat. Oh my God, chat. Jeebus criminy. You guys are moving too quick. Okay, I'm going to try to finish this up. Jeebus criminy. Okay. My favorite stories in the Clone Wars were the Sith arcs. I would love to see a Sith movie, but Disney Lucasfilm, I don't think is capable of going dark. Lucas era, yes. Disney era, no, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to try to give the cliff notes on this because now I'm going to have to move real fast through the chat. That was the thing that we were really excited about, is that when Disney bought Star Wars, they're like, oh my God, we have all the money in the world to fund projects from every corner of the galaxy. We can do all this different stuff. And our little rose tinted glasses forgot that Disney was the one that purchased Star Wars. Going that dark with Star Wars, I don't know that they're going to do that. I want them to. So like Rogue One was a pretty good indication that maybe we're going to get some of these more real, grounded, violent, gnarly stories. And then since then, we got nothing. We got nothing like that. And so I hope that they learn that people love these real grounded stories. And believe me, violence has to be an aspect of it, but it doesn't have to be gory. Every time you shoot a stormtrooper, you don't see blood flying out, but we need to have some of these more stories that have weight. When people die, they die. It hurts. You don't want to see that kind of stuff, So I hope they pay more attention to that. Okay, hold on. There's a bunch of mutes in here. Muted, 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 muted. A Sith army against a Jedi army. Shut up and take my money. After you scrape me off the floor. That's what I'm saying, dude. Let's go. Oh, boomer muted, boomer muted, boomer muted. You're so loud. Hit the mute button again. Oh my God, I hate you so much. Okay, I think we made it down. I think I liked it better muted. You know, there's a button on a browser that you can hit and just like fuck off completely. I didn't know if you knew that, but there is. It's designated by an X on the top right. I'm just kidding. I love you, Phil. So, anywho, God, I got freaking distracted there. Try to catch up. I wanted to look at this article. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Okay, so Grace Randolph. Whoa, I hear hashtag Jon Favreau and hashtag Dave Filoni are in talks to head over to the movie side of Star Wars. That would be brilliant. Obviously, the fan base completely ignites. Everybody's on fire. Everybody's freaking out. Oh my God, they're gonna go take this shit. Oh my God, and we saw it was kind of funny actually. I was driving home from work and I saw, because I didn't see the original one. I saw Josh from Den of Nerds was like, ooh, I made a boo-boo. I got way too excited about this. This is not it's not actually what's happening. And I was like, oh, okay. I clicked on that. I watched it. And he brought up a good point, is that I think a lot of people took this the wrong way. If I saw it, I don't think I would have taken it this way, that they're taking over the movie side of Star Wars. I don't see it that way. But regardless, a lot of people got really excited. They're like, damn. I don't. Ooh, Lord save me, because I'm about to go ham on this. Oh, Lord help me. They can't save everything. Okay? They just can't save everything. And I've been trying to figure out how to tell everybody that follows me, everybody that's part of my community. John and Dave are doing a great thing for the TV side of Star Wars. They are going to overstretch these guys. They're going to overstretch John and Dave. They're going to expect that even if they have their thumbprint on it, that it's going to be good Star Wars. And I'm telling you, you either live long enough to see yourself become the villain, or you die the hero. I'm definitely afraid that that's what's going to happen to these two guys, because I think they're expecting a lot out of them. The fan base is expecting everything out of them right now. The shit that I see with people talking about John and Dave Filoni, it's like they're freaking Messiah. They're like Jesus Christo. While I agree that John is probably the best route they can have to have somebody at least heading projects and writing stories. I'm really afraid they're going to work these guys to the bone. They're going to work them to the bone, and they're going to be like, it's too much. I know Filoni's going to stay because he's the protege of George Lucas, and I want him to stay. I want him to stay, and I want him to stick around and you know, give us good stories. But we have to remember that Filoni has done stuff that fans hated too. Filoni has done stuff that fans hate too. Don't forget that. Now, we forgive the trespasses because at a 90% to 10% ratio, we love the stuff that this guy does. He's got a lot of good stuff that he's put out. And obviously nobody knows the story in George. I don't even like saying that. I don't like saying that he knows the story in George better than anyone, because there are people that are older than him that have, followed this for a very long time. I got to get to the chat. I want to know what the chat wants to say about this. Oh, no, I'm not going to read that chat. No, sir. Not going to read that one. Okay. Well, it was going off and I was like, oh man, people are really excited about this. Not going to read that. All right, here we go. Daryl the Derelict, though, with a 5-credit super chat. This goes toward an alarm when you're muted. That is a really, really good idea, bro. Let's take out one more youngling. Let's clear that temple out.
Thank you.
I'm not going to judge you. I just appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Holy cow. Stuff got heated there for a minute, huh? Stuff is going crazy in the chat. I didn't think it was going to be like this. You're going down a road I can't follow. At first, so I'm going to agree with that. Fans did hate Ahsoka at first, and now they are absolutely in love with her. We've got another, 100%. Yeah. I'm getting no love in the chat. Shit's just like, you guys are just yelling at each other. Actually, I wish I could bring the chat up on screen so you guys can see what's going on here. Shield's just like things from a company, no matter how trash it is. Yeah, so I would say that's like probably, I guess that's like a base definition of a show. Yeah. Base definition. Disney Star Wars is great and you guys just don't understand. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this up here for a minute. I'm gonna leave it here. Here's what I would say, Mr. White. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your input. I don't know if you know this, but I love Star Wars. I absolutely love Star Wars. It's been a really big part of my life. But just because I love the Star Wars that has come before doesn't mean that I have to love the Star Wars that came after. And it's a really interesting intellectual property because we have an intellectual property that was owned by one man, somebody who constantly fought against the corporatization of his art. And I'm obviously talking about 1 through 6. He did absolutely everything he could to make sure that he was able to tell the story that he wanted to tell without any kind of corporate input, because he knew that if those movies were taken over by a larger studio, they would change things and try to make things the way they wanted it, and it had to fit the popular motifs of the time. And so when I think about Star Wars, I don't always think about Star Wars as a whole. Star Wars is broken up into so many different things. We have books, we have comics, we have TV shows, we have movies. There are 1,000 different medium that Star Wars comes into our lives. Other people have made Star Wars content that I don't agree with. Now, I'm not just talking about Kathleen Kennedy and the sequel trilogy and Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams, because those are obviously the hot button topics, right? But there have been fan films that have come out that I don't like. Does that mean I'm not a Star Wars fan if I don't like the fan films that I watch? But it's Star Wars. What if, a fan film comes out and you look at it and you're like, wow, that was not a very good story. Does that make you not a Star Wars fan just because you don't understand it? I just fundamentally disagree with the idea that you can tell somebody that you're dumb. You don't understand. You don't understand what they were trying to say. And that's why you don't like it. I just don't like that. I don't like that mentality when it comes to Star Wars, because honestly, like, I'm down to hear anybody's opinion. Mr. White, if you want to come on and talk to me, I'm 100% down. I'm not going to put you down or anything like that. I'm down to talk to you. I just, I don't really like that. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. You're good, bro. No, look. The Hangar Bay is for every fan's voice. I like it. I just don't like putting other people down. Now, when it comes to the Boomer Council, and we got Hawks Holocrons in there, and he's like the Dyad, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. that's completely different. You know what I mean? I just want to, I want to see everybody else's side of it. So me, myself, obviously, I hope I've made it abundantly clear. I had issues with the stories of the sequel trilogy. I've got issues with stuff that went there, but I'm always willing to hear anybody else's side of it. And I hope that you would take a minute to maybe try and see my side of it too, and not just be like, "No, you don't get it, you dumb." Like, "No, dude, I get it. I get why people like it." But generally, I have found with the literally thousands of people that I've talked to, and when I say thousands, I mean thousands of people. Oh my God, Nikki sending me stuff. She's like, you're probably talking yourself into a hole right now. I'm excited for it. Hold on. Let me go look. Wait, no, I was kidding. Yeah. But this is an important thing. This is an important thing. When I say 1,000 voices, every fan deserves a voice. It goes both ways, man. It goes both ways. YetiCast. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being here. Here we go. I get completely battered by some fans who call me not a Star Wars fan because I like certain parts of the sequel trilogy. Yeah, I mean, it's tough too because things change over time, and here's the problem with like me being on YouTube. This is a major issue, is that I will feel a certain way at one point in the day, and then 2 days later I will feel completely differently. But everything's on record, bro. It's like being a politician. They're like, well, you said on Thursday you liked this part of it, but on Saturday you said fuck the sequel trilogy. These opinions are dynamic. There's so much stuff that goes on. It's tough to nail everything down. I just my big hope moving forward. I mean, we're talking about the future of Star Wars, and I think it's fun because, and I do think all of this is fun because we are dead square in the absolute infancy of the new Star Wars. That's the only way I know how to describe it. We are right in the middle of the infancy of new Star Wars. And a lot of us are really battling to make it go one way, and other people are really battling to say that these people are bad people and needs to go this way. And it just makes it a real fondue pot of ideas. And yeah, look, Nathan just hit it on the head right there. You're not a real Star Wars fan if somebody hasn't told you that you're not a Star Wars fan. Yeah, it's just, I have optimism in certain aspects of Star Wars moving forward. I think, there is stuff that we have to look forward to for sure. I'm really looking forward to the Book of Boba Fett. I'm hyped for that. I'm super hyped for Kenobi. Really hyped for Andor because that ties directly back into the original trilogy, which is just like, I love my OT stuff. And that's right in that time frame. There's a lot of stuff to look forward to. That doesn't mean that I think that they're going to do it well, but I really hope that they do. But like I said, we are in the infancy of the new Star Wars, and it's going to take them a while. I don't know why. It's going to take them a while to figure out what makes money. And eventually, one of these days, they're going to find out that the fans are what make them money. And as soon as they figure that out, they're going to start making content that the fans want, and they will have a cash cow. That's just the way that's just the way it goes. I don't know. I don't know how they haven't learned that yet, or what they haven't learned from other IPs. I think maybe just from maybe they were jaded from Marvel, and they thought that we can just make basically superhero movies, and people are going to say like whatever. They basically thought Rey was Black Widow, and people are just going to love it. But then they made a Black Widow movie, and everybody's like, fuck that. This stuff has to have heart. We have to have stories that we connect with. We have to have, we have to have something we can relate to, something we can latch onto. And they just didn't do it before. And I think they're going to learn. I think they're going to learn. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to hit the little chit chat for a second. See, you guys are just yelling at each other. Not even talking to me. Don't talk to X-Wing. I don't know none. Cinematography in The Last Jedi was great. That's the one nice thing I can say about that movie. Dude, the cinematography was great in the entire sequel trilogy. Bunch of good stuff. Excuse me. Andor's where it's at. Yeah, I think it's going to be good, man. It's just the truth now. So hyped for Andor. Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. A lot of people were shitting on Andor early on because they're like, why would I give a fuck about Cassian Andor? And I'm like, yeah, but that is that's OT time. That's where we can get all the good stuff. Fill in some stuff from the OT. I'm excited for that. Felicity with a 10 credit. Holla, I need to come up with my own name for these super chats. I don't even know what to call it. Booba bat. Fans need to accept fans. We argue our opinions, defend the right of fans to have their own opinions, and learn from each other. If you defend a company that attacks honest fans, you're a shill. Man, this is like an hour-long topic. I'm going to broach this. I'm going to sit here. I want to talk about this. I want you to earn that. I want you to earn that $10 holla. So this is interesting because I think it goes both ways. So fans need to accept fans. Yes. Fans don't need to accept shitty fans. And when I say that, people are going to be like, oh, like the toxic fans. I'm like, bro, there are toxic fans on, I'm not even going to use toxic, shitty. There are shitty fans on both sides of the spectrum. Believe me, I've seen both of it because I have, I've had Star Wars Santa on my channel and Ryan Kinnell on my channel. Both ends of the spectrum. Guess what? Both sides of the spectrum were completely shitting on me for both of those things. So, yeah, fans need to accept fans 100%. Realize that we're not going to agree about everything. Absolutely. The thing that does irk me is when you have people in a massive company like Lucasfilm shitting on YouTubers, shitting on fans who put out a tweet, and it's not always somebody who has 120,000 followers. That could be a dude with like 235, and somebody from Lucasfilm sees the tweet and says something like, "Go get a cup of coffee in the break room. Get off of Twitter. What are you doing?" That kind of stuff for me, that shit pisses me off. Big time. Yeah, that pisses me off. Charlie, before I bounce, dude, where'd you get that shirt? Also hit that video. Hit that like. This is from Justin is Lost, ruined by Kathleen Kennedy. I'm kind of pissed I didn't think of it first, but I had to buy it. I had to buy it. Okay, got to rock through some of this chat. I will never understand people who defend Disney as a company. Yeah, I was driving to this town way out in the middle of Nevada with an apprentice. And we were talking about Star Wars and Disney as a company. He's like, "Did you know that they're doing stuff, like bad stuff with Muslims?" I'm like, "You mean the Uyghur Muslims? How they credited basically an internment camp?" Yeah. Irritating. People don't like to look at the entire picture. I think a lot of people like to cherry pick. A lot of people like to cherry pick. He reads my mind. All right, guys. Well, hey, look, I appreciate everybody being here. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I promise all of that money is going towards an actual camera that actually does colors right. I wish I had something blue. Watch. This is a blue beer can. Is it green? Yes, son of a bitch. I'm not crazy. I appreciate you guys coming by. I'm going to try to do a couple more solo streams. You know, I try to do it every once in a while. Sometimes I feel dumb yelling at a computer screen, but what can I say? I got a lot to say sometimes. Daryl with a 5 credit. Oh my God. I totally forgot on the last super chats. Holy cow. You guys, 2 younglings?
Thank you.
Times 2. And then Daryl the derelict. That's why I love this community. We accept each other regardless of what we like. We talk and we learn from each other. Yes. So that's something I love about EBN is that everybody over there, they love each other. It's an awesome community of people who are absolutely supportive of everybody. And I love that. The only difference I have between that beautiful community and myself is that we get a lot more spicy, and we're willing to yell at each other and have those conversations that people don't want to have. So I love that. Thank you so much, Daryl. Another youngling falls to your blade.
Thank you.
You dastardly man, you. Loved hearing the monologue. Yeah, I'm not really good at these, but, you know, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful Friday night. I don't even know what time it is here. It's 8 o'clock here. Go forth. Go forth. Love your neighbors. Love your friends. Have a good time. Love Star Wars. Have those difficult conversations. Don't be afraid to actually tell somebody how you feel about something. Don't be afraid. I will be here to back you up regardless of how you feel, whether you be a shill or a dill pickle. This is X-Wing. I'll see you guys on the next one.